Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good day, good night, good everything. So, in this session, I am going to talk about lessons that I've learned, like what I know now that I didn't know then. Number one, real love does not hurt. Listen to me. Someone who really loves you, they are intentional about loving you. When you experience the love of God, you really do have your eyes open because it tells you his love shows you that real love, it doesn't hurt. Number 2, you can be hung by your tongue. I Lord knows I have been hung by my tongue like the old people say, many a days. Cause I just wouldn't shut my mouth. I had a comment about everything. And when the Bible tells us the power of life and death is in our tongues and we will eat the fruit of it, I was eating a whole lot of rotten fruit because I wouldn't close my mouth. So number 2, what I know now is that you can be hung by your tongue. Number 3, I was always supposed to be me. I even like how that sounds. You know how in this world, people try to make you become somebody else, or even if they don't, there's so much outside pressure. People are getting their entire bodies and faces completely remodeled to look like somebody else. And I'm not saying that they're trying to be a better version of themselves. You have people who are trying to be other people. But my lesson that I have learned was I was always supposed to be me. My personality was mine, and it is mine. The way that I look, God created me to look like this. So I was always supposed to be me. Number 4, giving your life to Christ, it doesn't make it easier, but it definitely makes it better. Because I believe with Christ, there came hope. Hope that any situation that I found myself in was temporary and that it could and would get better. Number 5, if your mind is unsafe and bound, so is your life. Because our minds are so powerful, our thoughts are so powerful. Sometimes you can be bound up and unsafe in your mind, and you're really not unsafe in an unsafe environment. It's just in your mind, your thoughts are unsafe. Your thoughts think that you're under threat, and you're really not. So if you are bound and unsafe in your mind, you are bound and unsafe in your life. And that's something that I've learned. So I have to really pay attention to the thoughts that I allow to enter my mind. Number 6, OMG. There are people who will create problems with you and expect you to fix them. Did y'all hear me? You have people really, and sometimes they may be related to you or your used to be friend. They will create problems with you and expect you to fix them. They put words in your mouth you didn't say. They replay actions differently. They want you to apologize to them for something they did to you. So yes, I had to learn. I learned this the hard way, that there are people in your life who will create problems for you and with you and expect you to fix them. Number 7, you will need your fight. You don't have time to waste on foolish things or foolish situations. There is a real adversary out here who's trying to wear us down with foolishness. You have people who are fighting because over a seat at a football game. You have people who fight each other because somebody said something about their team. One day you are going to need your fight. And you are going to be too tired because you wasted it on foolishness. So this is something I know now that I didn't know then. Number 8, God always cared. Because I actually went through a season in my life, and I'm actually talking about this in the book that I'm writing. I actually went through a period where I really I just really didn't feel like God cared. I was like, I know you care about like whether or not I make it back to you, but do you even care about all this stuff I'm having to go through? But what I know now that I didn't know then was he always cared. Even when I didn't feel like he was there, he was there. And even if when I didn't feel like, um, you know, he cared, he always cared. Number 9, Satan never gives up. You heard me? The devil never gives up. He never gets tired. He just attacks us the same way differently. He regroups, but he does not relent. Number 10, I don't like or fit in with tradition. Now I do believe in certain traditions. I just don't fit in with a lot of traditions. So, and I don't do well in those environments. So the likelihood of you making me stand by your door with white gloves on are 0. 11, I've learned how important it is to pray with purpose and expectation. You know, sometimes we do those, well, I used to do those general prayers. Somebody will say, you know, will you pray for me? And I say, well, Lord, protect her, bless her. And just keep it moving. But now I've learned how important it is for us to target our prayers on something specific. So if that person is going through a health crisis, you pray about that thing. If that person is going through a marriage issue, whatever it is, you know, now I've learned how important it is to pray with purpose and with expectation, because we really do serve a God who wants us to believe in him, and he's encouraged by our belief. 12, I enjoy my own company. I do. I probably hang out with myself more than most people. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I like myself. I can make myself laugh. I will have a full conversation with myself. I will be in my car singing. I will be singing at the top of my lungs and singing the backup. I am the backup singer to myself. So I really do enjoy my own company. 13, I do have an addictive personality, which is not always good. So I have to watch the things that I do, because I develop habits. So that's why when I go to the gym all the time, well, I won't say it's not in an unhealthy manner, but I have to monitor myself, because I know that once I start doing something, I do it over and over again. So it's good when you're talking about taking care of yourself physically and taking care of yourself spiritually, you know, but it's not always good if you get a hold of the wrong thing. 14, having a hard heart is the worst feeling ever. I have been there. I just don't like how it feels. And I think there was a time that I allowed my heart to get hard because I was so tired of hurting. And so I just said, well, since I don't want to hurt anymore, so I'll just let my heart get hard. And I don't like that either, because then you just don't care. And that's not a good feeling. So having a hard heart is the worst feeling ever. So now I don't let it happen, you all. 15, what I know now that I didn't know then, God doesn't grade on a curve. He really doesn't grade on a curve, which means there were several lessons I had to learn over and over again. And I kind of had the attitude that, well, I did better than last time, or isn't this good enough? And he was like, no, you're going to do it all over. When you realize that I want all of it and I want it right, then you will stop half doing it, what I ask you to do. 16, some people follow my voice. Some people just aren't good for you. I don't care how much you love them, how much you like them. They can be funny and cute and just fun to be around. But there are some people who are just not good for you. 17. You cannot fight Satan outside of God's will. You can't. It's not even possible. He will eat you up. So I learned that, in order to really battle spiritually, you have to be in God's will to battle. 18. Some things aren't about the victory. Some things are training for the fight. The Bible says, thanks be unto God who always causes us to victory. He calls us to victory. He causes us to triumph. So it's already letting us know that as believers, in the end, we win. So some things aren't about the end. Some things are about getting through it, getting to it. It's about the fight. It's about the battle. Because really, you're going to have to battle your way through this life. Spiritually, you're going to have to battle your way. So some things aren't about the fight. Some things aren't about the victory. They're about the fight. It's teaching us how not to give up. 19. OMG. Part 2. Don't settle. Especially in your relationships. Because sometimes, like when I said God isn't great on the curve, and I was thinking, well, isn't this good enough? Sometimes you get people, or you're even at a job, and you say, well, this isn't exactly what I want, but it'll do. Don't settle. God has wonderful things in store for his children, and he has something very specific in store for us. So don't settle for a counterfeit, a carbon copy, or something that's close, because he doesn't settle for it, so we don't have to settle for it. 20. And this is something I've really probably been doing for the past 2 years, maybe a little bit longer. Don't pray for signs, pray for clarity. Because sometimes, the enemy is slick, and he pays attention to us, and he can hear. And if we've told our friend on the phone, girl, I was praying, and I asked the Lord to show me a sign, and I told him, if he is the one to make him say this or do that, well, you put it out there. So that enemy can go in and get somebody to say, when you see her, do this. So sometimes we don't need to be praying for signs. Sometimes we need to pray for clarity, that the Lord makes it clear what we're supposed to be doing. 21. We grow through life the way that we go through life. Learn that. So if you choose to go through life negatively, you will grow through it the same way. 22. Some things just don't work, and that's okay. 23. Yeah, y'all, there are some real evil and godless people in this world, and that was kind of hard for me to finally accept. But there really are some evil people who have allowed darkness to take over their lives. And we can see that by watching the news. 24. Life has no place for pride. God detests pride. Pride is sneaky, because sometimes you can be prideful and not even realize it. It hides in your heart. I've gone through that. I didn't even know I was prideful until the Lord put me on my back and was like, wait a minute, you ain't all that, boo. Anything that you've gotten right, you got right because of me. So life has no place for pride. And 25, the last one. I don't mind teams, but I do mind cliques. Because I actually have gone to some, well, I've been invited to a couple of places with different, you know how churches have life teams? I don't want to offend anybody, but if you doing it, I'm talking to you. You know how some churches will have those small groups or life teams, and then you will know like one person on it, and they'll invite you, and then the rest of the people there treat you like an outsider. That's not a team, that's a clique. So I don't mind teams because teams embrace people. They embrace the team, the people on the team. But I don't do cliques. So and that's something that I learned. But these are the 25 lessons that I have learned, the things that I know now that I didn't necessarily know then. Have a great week, and thank you all so much for watching.